Yeah, the other option that is present, or the regular process that usually happens, is that these people are held until they have their immigration hearing. Unfortunately, since the government does not have enough housing space for these people, then the government is releasing these detainees. But maybe the proper housing facilities make sure that we have enough enforcement at the border to prevent some of these crossings, and maybe allocate resources to space to hold these people while they're waiting for their immigration hearing.
Okay. Is there a way of making that process faster, that hearing happen faster?
Well, everybody has a due process, and even somebody that crosses illegally has a right to due process, and they have to go through a process before they're actually removed from our country.
Mm-hmm. Because I had spoken with some of the detention center folks, and I understand that one of them has a contract with Border Patrol for transportation and such, and the other one doesn't. They do more criminal detentions, and they were saying it's not their policy. The ones that do the criminal, it's not their policy to hold people. I mean, to drop off a busload of people. That it'll be one or two, or maybe a family unit on their own recognizance. So then now, what are the estimated numbers that are coming through our borders? Because we're talking about moving from 1, 2, 3 families to busloads. What percentage of change is that in the increase?
Well, the Rio Grande Valley sector, I believe they're estimating about 1,200 apprehensions per day.
Per day?
Out of the estimates that the Rio Grande Valley sector has put out on the media, about 75% of those detainees that they're catching on a daily basis are OTMs, which means that they're from other places than Mexico, and the majority are family units. So if you kind of do the math, I mean, you could pretty much figure out that we've been releasing a lot of people into our country on their own reconnaissance. In the thousands, for sure.
And obviously you represent the union. The union has some concerns for the safety of its members, and you're going to fight for the time and the safety and all other things. So what is the union formally stating to the administration? What is it that the union is asking to change?
As a union, we represent our bargaining union members, Border Patrol agents and employees, some of the support staff. Our job is to advocate on behalf of our employees. So we want to make sure that our agents are working in as safe as possible conditions. We want to make sure that they're not exposed to increased risk. We want to make sure that if there's something that the agency can do to minimize this risk, that they do it. If they can provide the proper decontamination facilities for these aliens, if they can provide the proper medical screenings for these aliens when they come in, to be able to properly identify some of these diseases that they're bringing into our country. Those are some of the first steps that we would ask for. Some of the other steps that we would ask for is to properly allocate resources to the situation, and that might include proper housing facilities. Make sure that we have the proper detention cells. Make sure that the cells that are not being overcrowded. Making sure that we're not increasing our officer safety risk out there. And I think acknowledge that there is a situation which is very serious. And with that acknowledgement, we would hope that the agency and maybe some of the policymakers would allocate the necessary resources to combat this issue.
My interest has always been, obviously, people, regardless of your nationality, your color, your sex, whatever. My interest is in people. Because there are such a massive amounts of people in this area, what's going on with how they're being treated? Because I've been to the bus stations and they're packed, and we gave food out because they had not eaten in the entire day. Because it seems as they're coming without money, without resources. What is it like to be in a detention center better than being at the bus station, or is it?
Well, obviously, as Border Patrol agents, you know, we it is our job, but we also care for the well-being of our detainees. You know, we do treat them humanely, and we want to make sure that they're treated as fairly and as humanely as possible. We do know that detention cells that we have, obviously, if they're being overcrowded, then that's probably not very good treatment, in our opinion. But you know, our agents do care about our detainees, and we do have a responsibility to care for them. Once these people are released, and they've been already released, they are no longer in our custody, and they basically have to fend for themselves.
There was no warning that, hey, we're going to be sending people out here. And I know that that isn't Border Patrol agent's decision. I'm assuming it was probably the contractor, the subcontractor, who decided to drop off there. But how are you interacting with the community to warn, or how is the agency communicating with the community to warn, hey, you might have a few more mouths to feed who are very hungry, or you might have a growth in need for buses to go out to other, or whatever it may be?
You know, we're not really sure what arrangements the agency has done with some of these companies, for example, like the bus stations and stuff like that. See if they're requesting more buses or what. We're not aware. We do know that the agency has a history of trying to keep these type of situations and you know, these type of processes very under wraps. So, I mean, this doesn't surprise me. It's very typical of the agency to keep it under wraps as much as possible.
Okay.
I truly apologize for those members of the media that did the long trip to Laredo to come here and talk to Commander Harris. This, honestly, I can't remember the last time that we ever canceled a press conference, and there's no words that I could even say or tell you. I'm apologetic. I'm sorry that this press conference is not going to happen today. And this is no reflection on Commander Robert L. Harris. This is directly from the Secretary of Homeland Security.
The order came directly from the Secretary of Homeland Security, from the Department of Homeland Security, to cancel today's press conference.
I'm sure they asked you why, but what's the reason? What can you give?
I really can't tell you exactly what the reasons are. It was a private conversations that Commander Harris had with the Office of the Secretary at the moment, and when he came out, those were the orders that he was given.
Was Commander Harris upset or disappointed?
Beyond. I mean, Commander Harris had every intention, and he always has, to speak to members of the media, to tell you exactly what is going on, but when he has orders, he has to obviously follow by them. And we truly apologize, especially those of you that made the trip down here to Laredo. We were absolutely wanted to talk to you all and let you know what is going on.